The two prompts that I've chosen to address tonight are 21st century skills and leveraging technology. In my district, 21st century skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability, and written and oral communication have always been a staple within speech language pathology services to our students. And so these tasks and skills have pretty much always been addressed within therapy sessions. But being able to leverage the technology to create internet literacy, research skills, global awareness has been lagging behind that. And even though we've all been provided with iPads and apps, other helpful devices, it seems that this area of technology use has really been lacking for our students. Traditionally, though, it's interesting that it's not just our district. Education as a whole has been cautious about technology. And while access to the devices, like I mentioned, has increased, it seems that student-directed use of those devices, being able to look at expanded learning or use this technology in different ways, has grown at a much slower pace. And while Common Core standards were created to give students a really clear-cut and consistent set of expectations, there was also an expectation that these standards would be delivered through very diverse multimedia platforms. And that has also been slower to be adopted. It's interesting because I feel that technology penetrates deeper into our lives than ever before, and so the role of technology within our lives has expanded. In fact, I'm going to date myself and say that I was an upper elementary school student when the first handheld calculator came to our school. And it was such an amazing thing. I can tell you who had it and how much it cost. And we were just all amazed at just how wonderful this new device was. All it did was add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And it was interesting because the teachers at the time would always tell us, you're going to have to memorize your multiplication facts, you're going to have to know how to do all of these mathematical processes, because it's not as if you can walk around all day long with a calculator in your hand. So I wonder what they would think if they could have looked ahead to today and realized that most of us do walk around with a calculator in our hand. What's amazing about our calculator is that it's also a phone, it's a computer, and it actually has more computational capabilities than the computers that were around at the time that were shooting rockets into space. So it's amazing that just in my lifetime, technology has evolved to that level. And so when you look at that, technological dexterity therefore becomes more critical for school and workplace readiness. And because I'm an old dog and I'm having to learn new tricks, I can attest to that fact. Workplace readiness involves more and more the use of technology. Kind of segueing into this, as I spoke with my special education director, the research problem that we've chosen to address for my project is the lack of qualified speech-language pathologists to fill existing positions. Last year, interestingly enough, we were able to, through a contract agency, hire a couple of online therapists to provide speech therapy services to our students. Now, overall, we were disappointed in the process, mostly with the quality of services that were provided. But it was very interesting to look at the setup and the research behind the thought of online therapists. And we recognize that we feel like it's a very viable solution, especially for our district, because we are unable to really recruit and draw in the number or the quality of therapists that our district needs. So what we're hoping to address in the project assignment is looking at our past experience with our online therapists and looking at that and saying, what can we learn from that experience and how can we draw on that experience to make it better? Because we're really looking at pursuing online therapists, but doing them more in-house within our district. So we want to take that experience and then say, how do we translate that experience into practical guidance? And then how do we develop some real strategic support for online therapy? And part of that includes building a strong infrastructure, a strong support process for our online therapists, and looking at how we can make sure that we're supporting them adequately so that then the quality of the services that they are providing to our students remains at a high level.